Hi everyone, it's Natalie and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a book tag. It's been a while since I've filmed a book tag and I've always really enjoyed them. I've actually been pretty sad that they're not as popular as they used to be, but whatever. I saw that Books Michelle made an original tag recently, somewhat recently, and I was like, well, I'll eventually answer the questions to it just for fun. No one tagged me. I just wanted to do this. So this tag is the ancient history book tag, so all the prompts are kind of history inspired, especially since Books Michelle, the creator of the tag, really enjoys historical fiction and studying history and all of that. So let's get right into it. The first question is Stone Age, one of the first books you remember reading. I decided to go for a cop-out in this situation because I have a terrible memory, so I'm gonna go with Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling. This is not technically the first book I remember reading it. The one I remember reading for the first time is this like fairy tale collection story, bedtime stories kind of thing. I remember it was blue, but I can't remember what it was called or who wrote it. So we're going with Harry Potter just to say something that actually I can put a picture of and show it to you all. But really, I don't really want to talk about it that much because as you can see, I don't even own a copy of Harry Potter because J.K. Rowling ain't it, okay? She ain't it. The series still means a lot to me, like don't get me wrong, but I just can't see myself buying a new collection of the books because nah. The second question is Ancient Greece, your favorite myth-inspired book. That hands down has to be The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This is essentially a retelling of the Iliad, but focusing exclusively or mostly on Achilles and Patroclus and the romance between them, and it's beautiful. I'm trash for it. It's amazing. It's incredible. Like genuinely, this is a beautifully written book that I think everyone should read, although it might not be for everyone. I do think though that this is one of the most beautiful stories I've ever read, and it's one of the most beautifully written first person narratives I've ever read. I'm really picky with first person nowadays. I find most of it like sloppily written, but this really builds Patroclus's voice and character through his narrative, and it's great. Point is, this is as good as it gets when it comes to a myth retelling. Not that I read that many of them, to be honest, full disclosure. The third prompt is Roman Empire, a book featuring an impressive kingdom or empire. For this one, I definitely have to go with The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. This book, okay, what is it actually about? I don't know how to describe it. There's gin, let's see what it says here. On the streets of 18th century Cairo, Nari is a con woman of unsurpassed skill. She makes her living swindling Ottoman nobles, hoping to one day earn enough to change her fortunes. But when Nari accidentally summons Dara, an equally sly, darkly mysterious jinn warrior, during one of her cons, she learns that even the cleverest of schemes can have deadly consequences. So essentially they go to like the kingdom of Davabad, is it? Listen, this book is very intricate in its world. It doesn't exactly hold your hand. It kind of throws you in there on the deep end, so you just kind of gotta swim and figure it out. So I can't exactly explain it that well because let's be fair, I don't fully get it, but it's amazing. It's incredible. It's one of my favorite series. It's chunky too. The sequel is also a chunker, so it took me quite a while to get through this book, but it really does have a very intricate kingdom. I mean, is it a kingdom or an empire? Doesn't really matter to me. The point is, yes, this one. Do it. Pick it up. It's worth it. The fourth question is The Middle Ages, a book that is an absolute bummer. Now, I have a bit of qualms with this question. I'm like, an absolute bummer? In what way? Sad? Upsetting? You had high expectations, but it disappointed you? What does it really mean? But I decided to take it as something that just kind of made me sad. So for that, I'm going with On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. This is another one that I'm going to read the description to you all because it doesn't really have a plot. If you pick this up, it's because Ocean Vuong has a beautiful writing style. He's a poet, so this really comes across in the writing of this novel. It's really beautiful, but there's not a lot of action tying this all together. So basically the description is, On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous is a letter from a son to a mother who cannot read. Written when the speaker, Little Dog, is in his late 20s, the letter unearths a family's history that began before he was born. A history whose epicenter is rooted in Vietnam and spans to Hartford, Connecticut, and serves as a doorway into parts of his life his mother has never known, all of it leading to an unforgettable revelation. So yeah, you're just kind of following the history of this young man and his relationships with his family, but also with other men. It's queer, so it's also extremely sad. Like, when I read this, it was sad from almost beginning to end. I felt like the end was a bit hopeful, but overall, it's a very sad story. And I think it's beautiful. Like, it's some like a beautiful kind of sadness, which is strange because I don't tend to like vibe with that. But this is great. Point is, sad. The fifth question is The Renaissance, a book that you learned a lot from or a book that made you think. For this question, I'm going with Under the Feet of Jesus by Elena Maria Viramontes. This one, I picked it because I had to read it for a class, and really having to analyze it and think about it, to write a paper on it, really, opened my mind and made me really learn a lot from it. So that's the main thing why I picked this for this question. Apart from the fact that this is just a really beautifully written novel, I think it's fantastic. Also vaguely heartbreaking as well, but I can't really explain what it's about. It's like a coming of age novel. Let me read a bit of the summary, because again, terrible at this. Haven't picked up some of these books in a while, so that's kind of why I'm really bad at summarizing them, apart from the fact that I'm just terrible at summaries. At the center of this powerful tale is Estrella, a girl about to cross the perilous border to womanhood. What she knows of life comes from her mother, who has survived abandonment by her husband in a land that treats her as if she were invisible, even though she and her children pick the crops of farms that feed its people. But within Estrella, seeds of growth and change are stirring. Yeah, that's kind of it. I don't know what else to say about this. I just know that it's really good, and I would actually really recommend you pick it up. But I would say that about most of the books on this book tag, because I genuinely picked books that are all basically on my favorites list. All of these are amazing, except maybe Harry Potter. Shh, I didn't say that. The sixth question is The Industrial Revolution, a book with a concept or invention that you would love to have in real life. I definitely went with another cop-out for this question because I have no idea. I don't really go into books thinking about the inventions or things that they have that I would love to have in real life. So unless I repeated Harry Potter and went with wands, magic, Hogwarts, etc., I didn't want to do that, so I went with The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This book is about a circus that only opens at night. This circus comes unannounced, so it pops out in different towns unexpectedly. And basically this circus itself is the center of a magical competition between two magicians. So everything that's going on in this circus, the people that go visit it think that it's not real, but it actually has a lot of very real magic in it. So for the invention or concept that I'm taking from this book, it's the night circus itself. Like, if you read this, the night circus sounds so amazing. Like, who would not love this circus? That's the question I have, because I don't think anyone could possibly not love this circus. Apart from the general aesthetic of it, like black and white, everything, and just like pops of color of red if you're a super fan of the circus. Beautiful, live for it, incredible. Whenever I read this, I'm always like, man, I wish the night circus were real. So that's what I'm going with. Question 7 is World War I and II, a book about or centered on the World Wars. I went with an easy one to answer this question because I don't read that much historical fiction, although I do tend to read books about the World Wars when I pick up historical fiction, but I haven't done that much recently. Anyway, my answer is The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. Essentially, this book is narrated by Death, and we're following this little girl called Liesel, whose family starts harboring a Jew in their basement or something. And so it's kind of like the friendship that develops between this girl and the Jew that they're hiding. And it's called The Book Thief because she steals books from one of the neighbors and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure she doesn't actually steal them. I don't remember. This is just an honorary mention, basically, because once again, I haven't read historical fiction that much lately, much less World War II or One historical fiction. So this is just from my memory that I know that I really, really love this. But I've been dying to reread this since forever. It's been quite a while. So I don't know if I stand by my love for it, but for now, I'm just gonna say this one. The 8th question is present day. A book you think everyone should read right now. My answer to this one is My Brother's Husband by Gengoro Tagame. This manga is beautiful, amazing, incredible. I don't know why every single person has not read this because it's great. But okay, what's it about? Essentially, it's about this man whose brother is gay, and his brother moved to Canada so that he could be with what will eventually be his husband, this man right here. But what happens is that brother dies. And so our main character is left, you know, with the grief of like, I lost my brother and I never accepted him for being gay. What do I do now? So it's kind of his journey towards acceptance and about the relationship he builds with his brother's husband, who comes to visit because he was like, your brother always wanted to have us know each other and be a family, and I still want to keep that dream of his alive. So he comes to visit, and their friendship is just so beautiful. Even just describing this book, I almost teared up because it's just so beautiful. It's incredible. I need y'all to read this because it's just super fantastic. What else is there to say? What else is there to say? Pick it up. So that's it for the questions of this book tag. I'm only going to be tagging one person because I don't really know that many people on BookTube yet personally, so it would feel weird tagging them. But I'll tag Books and BS because she should definitely do this book tag. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you would like to follow me on any of my social media, I will leave the links to that in the description down below. But for now, see you next time.